Well, myself, Aronra, Crissy and Zena have all joined freethoughtblogs. And seeing as I've already introduced myself to the people at freethoughtblogs, I thought I would introduce you to freethoughtblogs. That's the home of people like P.Z. Myers. And on this very auspicious occasion, I'm going to do something that I would never normally do. Indeed, something that I would probably call tactically dumb. Well, mostly dumb. And that's to get involved in one of these issues that causes a disproportionate amount of fighting within the rationalist community. Tell them why I never normally get involved in this sort of thing, Mr. B.
Not even our generals are mad enough to shell their own men. They think it's far more sporting to let the Germans do it.
Yep, tonight's the night when I mostly ignore why the Germans feared people like Patton, but were largely dismissive of people like Fredendall. And for those who don't know, here's a quick summary. Divide and conquer is a motto of change in all arenas, not just on the battlefield. A house divided against itself cannot stand is the same motto from a different perspective. Choose your goals, prioritize them according to importance, and focus what resources you can marshal upon them. This is how you will be most effective at achieving your goals. It's not rocket science. Yeah, the reason that the Germans feared people like Patton is because he understood divide and conquer, and that this was best achieved by concentration of resources. The reason that the Germans feared Patton is because he didn't waste his time on trivialities, like arguing with the troops whether the jeeps would be best in ocean grey or military grey. But Patton stayed focused on the important issues, and this is largely an example that I try to follow, not to get distracted too much by the trivialities. However, today I'm going to take a bit of a step back from that to suggest that many of those who are actually in the secular community and spending a disproportionate amount of their time haggling over trivialities really should get a grip. Sexual harassment at conferences, the definition of which some would extend all the way up to arguably being asked out for coffee, having hung out in a bar till some crazy hour in the morning. Tell them why that's crazy, Cat.
There's an old cat saying, if you're going to eat tuna, expect bones.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of very questionable behaviour that goes on in the bars at conferences. For instance, people experimenting with, say, for instance, religion. How to bring in the rapture. Let's see. Ah, here we go, the word of Jesus. I tell you there will be a night when there will be two men in one bed. One shall be taken, the other shall be left. Oh, okay. Two women shall be grinding together. One of them shall be taken, the other left. That's how we bring on the rapture. And there's a lot more interesting behaviour like that that goes on at these conferences.
Always upon the bright side of life.
Now that's not to say that there isn't some genuinely unpleasant behaviour that goes on in these bars. And of course that should be addressed in an appropriate fashion. But to be honest, the level of harassment that you get in these bars is a little different than you would get from any other bar in the country. And I'm not so sure that I see it's the conference's responsibility to try to police what happens in the bars outside of the conference. I mean, the bottom line is things like TAM are conferences for adults. They're not expensive daycare.